college football preview video. Today we're taking a look at a week one matchup, La Tech and Texas. What an interesting game here. This is one of those games where you see that Texas, you see that group that everyone loves. Texas is back, Sam Ehlinger, big-time offense. But you see them matched up against a team in La Tech that is pretty stingy. They come from a conference, the Conference USA, that I, for one, think that 4 or 5 different teams could win that conference this year. Very good conference. A lot of parity down there. A quarterback in Jamar Smith who's back. And a Texas defense that I'm a little concerned with. In fact, frankly, I'm concerned with both defenses. First of all, you look at La Tech. Good team, always been very solid under Skip Holtz. I mentioned Jamar Smith. He's back. And again, Ian Cameron's back, and we're talking to him about this game. And Jamar Smith is back. Here's the problem that I have with Jamar Smith. 58% completion percentage last year. Not good enough. One thing I was impressed with, though, is the fact that they put up 21 points against stingy LSU. That's impressive. Second of all, here's one thing I'm worried about with La Tech. Jalen Ferguson's gone. One of the best pass rushers ever in the Conference USA, and probably one of the better defensive players this team's ever seen. He's gone. This defensive line's got a lot of flux right now. That's not what you want against Sam Ehlinger. I mean, he could pick you apart. The secondary is good for La Tech, but why do I get the feeling they're going to have to cover a lot in this game? They're going to get tired. I think Tech's going to put up plenty of points. I think that's pretty obvious here. I think the question is, what does La Tech do on offense? Jamar Smith has to be better. He's got the receivers to do it. Adrian Hardy, really good player. We talked about this before the video. Ian asked me, he said, do you know where I'm going in this game? And I said, well, I think I have an idea where you're going, but I don't want you to tell me until the video. Ian, are you on the over in this game?
I'm actually on the side in this game with Louisiana Tech against Texas. And this is a fascinating game to watch because coming into this season, look, Texas made that statement last year, the blowout win against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, that maybe they're on the national the playoff picture, the national title contender scene now with that victory. And Sam Ehlinger certainly back. You know, I love the kid. He's been fantastic. I've had a lot of success backing Texas in recent years, particularly in the underdog role. And Ehlinger has been terrific, especially in some big games against big competition. I do, though, coming into this game, have some major concerns about the supporting cast surrounding Sam Ehlinger coming into this game for Texas. Because you look at it, 3 top tacklers from last year gone for Texas. Both starting cornerbacks gone from Texas last year. Only a couple remaining starters on the defensive line. A completely revamped offensive line that may, as of last I read, may not even have their starting senior center in this game due to injury along that offensive line for Texas. And that is a major concern. There are only, in fact, 2 returning starters confirmed to play, either, returning or not for sure injured going into this game for Texas on defense. That's a major, major concern for me going into this game, especially when you're laying 20.5 points, almost 3 touchdowns in your opener. Yes, there are concerns about Jamar Smith, the Louisiana Tech quarterback. He was not accurate as much as we would hope for last year. 15 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. He's got to improve on that ratio from last season. Hopefully with another year of experience, he can do that. It's a very interesting battle because you mentioned the losses for Louisiana Tech on defense, especially their defensive line. Is that pass rush going to be there? There's just as many holes and questions on the Texas offensive line going into this game as there are the Louisiana Tech defensive line, in my opinion. Yeah.
And that's a great point. I also think, and I agree with you. I think La Tech's too good to be getting 20.5, 21 points. I think they're a good football team, and I think they'll move the ball. Texas last year, the secondary sucked. I mean, look, I know they weren't really vilified because Oklahoma was so bad, but this was a bad defense. I mean, with the talent they had, with the defensive coordinator they have that's getting paid $1 million a year to be a defensive coordinator, it wasn't good enough. And again, this is a young secondary facing a quarterback that's comes from good stock. I mean, they've had some good quarterbacks down at La Tech, and this is a team that you can screw around with. You saw last year, Ian. LSU only beat them by 17. That's a good performance if you're La Tech. I think I'm surprised you're not on the over because this comes across to me as like a a 38-24 type of game or something like that. 53 seems just a bit too low, but I actually am in agreement with you. I think La Tech's too good. I would love to get 21 though. 20.5 turns me off a little bit, but I do also think it'll entice a lot of public casual bettors to say, "Ooh, Texas is only 20.5 point favorites against La Tech. I'm in." I think you're on the right track, Arian.
Yeah, and if you're in case you haven't figured out what I'm looking at Louisiana Tech here, plus points, 20.5 here in this game. You look at Skip Holtz as an underdog. Boy, I bet him a lot in that role since he's been here at Louisiana Tech. 4-1 against the number as an underdog last season. And what are the golden rules of betting Tom Herman football teams? Unload on him when he's an underdog. Fade the hell out of him when he's laying points. 3-7 against the spread as a favorite last year, Texas. Tom Herman coached teams, Houston, which was his last stop, and Texas combined. Tom Herman coached teams are on a 2-11 against the spread run as favorites in their last 13 games.
Great call.
It is unbelievable how it's just been like clockwork with Tom Herman, Houston, and now at Texas. Not trustworthy as a favorite, not trustworthy as chalk, pretty much money in the bank, solid gold as an underdog. We're going to keep going with that strategy here. There's just a lot of moving parts. I'm not enamored with all the changes, all the new faces, banged up offensive line. Let's not forget the cluster injuries at running back for Texas coming into this season as well. Who's going to be their leading rusher? Sam Ehlinger? Actually, that wouldn't shock me going into this game. I think he might be. If you look at this Texas team in terms of their running back situation, Keontae Ingram and freshman Jordan Whittington, they're the team's lone healthy running backs going into this game because Daniel Young, the junior running back's dealing with an ankle injury. The senior running back, Kirk Johnson, he's been ruled out for this game, also due to injuries. That defense, again, completely revamped with new faces, with just 2 returning starters on that entire defense for Texas coming into this game. Being asked to lay 3 touchdowns. Are there concerns with Louisiana Tech? Yes, but Texas has got to win by a mountain of a point spread to overcome that. I'm not sure they can. Give me the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs plus 20.5.
Yeah, I think you're onto something here. I think it's hard to make the case that Louisiana Tech has the edge at any position, but it is Texas. They're going to get an athletic edge, that kind of thing. But look, at the end of the day, there are a lot of wholesale changes here for Texas, and there's a lot of pressure on this team. There's a lot of pressure on Ehlinger. They don't have a run game, as you said, to really fall back on. Some of their big boys that they had, Deontay Foreman, he's not walking through the door here. I think you're onto something here. I'm going to go over the total, though. I like this game over. I think Texas can push 40. I think La Tech pushes mid-20s here. I think this game gets over the number. So, Ian, going to go with La Tech. Is there 21 anywhere out there? Have you seen any 21?
I'm hoping. I haven't bet this yet. Because in the hope that I'm maybe see a 21. If I don't see it before kickoff Saturday, I'll just take the 20.5. And certainly if I see it move toward Louisiana Tech, I'll jump on it right away. And accept that, hey, we'll get 20.5 on this game. But I just think, with all the, like, Ellinger's great, but Ehlinger, I think, is going to have to carry this team to a 3-touchdown or more victory with all the new faces and injuries this team's battled here in fall camp. We'll see if they can do that. I thought for a minute, by the way, you were going to bust out the Rick Pitino Boston Celtics speech from years ago. He's not walking through that door. But yeah, there's a lot of players for Texas from last year where they had a nice season that aren't walking through that door and coming back to start this year.
Yeah, one of the few impressions I cannot do, Rick Pitino. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out the video. And I want to shout out all of you listeners. Thanks for watching the videos. I try to keep these short and sweet, try to get them out quickly, try to give you a nice breakdown, whether it's Joe Duffy and Cameron or just myself. Thanks for checking them out. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment. Follow Ian on Twitter. You can find him at Babano, Bobano. I don't know what a Babano is, but I know that Ian Cameron's throwing out the videos, throwing out the content. Make sure you check it out. Ian, we're going to do this next week. We're going to do this as long as we can. Thanks for coming on. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, big man.